December 23, 1913. Most of Congress was home for Christmas. The few who remained passed a bill giving private banks control of America's money supply. They left Jekyll Island with a blueprint, a central bank disguised as something else. But creating it was only half the problem. The other half? Convincing a country that despised central banks to accept one willingly. Congress had made its position clear. No European-style banking system. No consolidation of financial power. Americans had fought this battle before and won. The first attempt was catastrophic. Senator Nelson Aldrich put his name on the legislation, the Aldrich Bill. It lasted 3 days. Paul Warburg had seen it coming. He'd warned Aldrich directly. Your name is poison. You represent everything they fear. Wall Street, monopoly, concentrated power. But Aldrich wanted immortality. His name carved into the foundation of American finance. He got his wish, just not the way he imagined. The bill collapsed, but the plan didn't. Warburg, the master strategist, orchestrated what came next. They simply rewrote the cover page. Same structure, same powers, same purpose. But this time, they found sponsors from the other side, Democrats, men who campaigned against banker control. Carter Glass, a newspaper publisher and Democratic politician from Virginia. Robert Owen, a senator from Oklahoma. Respectable, populist, trusted. The Glass-Owen bill. Suddenly, this wasn't a banker's scheme anymore. This was reform. And then the theater began. Aldrich stood before crowds and denounced the very bill he'd helped write. Vanderlip wrote editorials warning of disaster. This legislation will cripple the banking system. It's reckless. It's dangerous. Newspapers ran the quotes. The public read them, and a strange thing happened. People started to trust the bill. What they couldn't see was the money flowing behind the scenes. Lobbying firms, grassroots campaigns, university endowments creating new departments of economics with very specific ideas about central banking. Warburg wasn't finished. He inserted provisions into the bill that genuinely restricted Federal Reserve power. His colleagues thought he'd lost his mind. Paul, we're trying to expand our control, not limit it. His response became legendary. Our goal isn't perfection, it's passage. We can fix the details later. And that changed everything. William Jennings Bryan had built his career fighting concentrated financial power. He'd called earlier versions of this bill exactly what they were, a banker's coup, a threat to the Republic. But those new restrictions looked real, substantial, protective. Bryan read them and withdrew his opposition. December 23rd. Most of Congress had left Washington for the holidays. The chamber sat nearly empty. The bill came to a vote anyway. Urgent, they were told. Critical. Time-sensitive. It passed with a vote of 298 to 60, ratified by men who'd stayed behind while their colleagues celebrated Christmas with family. The next day, Woodrow Wilson signed it into law. The Federal Reserve System was no longer a plan on paper. It was the machinery of American finance. Wilson's regret would come later, much later. I have unwittingly ruined my country, he would say. But by then, the machine was running. Warburg's promise came true as well. Since 1913, the Federal Reserve Act has been amended more than 100 times, quietly, incrementally, without public attention or debate. Every restriction Warburg added to win passage, gone, stripped away piece by piece. New powers added in their place. The authority to monetize foreign debt, corporate obligations. The limits that once existed have vanished entirely. So, what did the United States actually receive in 1913? A private entity with a congressional charter. Exclusive authority to create the nation's money supply. A mechanism allowing government to fund itself through inflation instead of taxation. Invisible, unaccountable, permanent. And a system where banks earn interest forever, on money that never existed, on nothing at all.